Okay, right, Omar, I just want you to describe to me what it is that you're experiencing that you want to change.
So before you go into a boxing match, get a lot of images playing in your head of what could go wrong, what's not going to go right. Not to say have some limiting beliefs that pop up. You can control some of them sometimes.
You said you get images when you were saying it to me. Do you mean I get them as well, or?
No, I get the images. I'd assume you probably do get them as well. But,
okay, so what we're doing now, he used the word you, okay, which is trying to gain rapport. And this is nothing, Omar's not doing this consciously, unconsciously. He said when you go into a fight, you get these images. When he says that, it means everybody. I've challenged it for him to now say I, so he takes ownership of the emotion. If I leave him say you, I can't get near the emotion, because he's just generally saying we all get it. So when I say, when he says I, there are some boxers that don't, they are a minority, but I do know some boxers that love it. They go in the ring and they can't wait to get in there. Andy Robinson, one of them, Animal Andy, he's like, get me in the ring, get me in the ring. So he's right, but I've just changed his language there subtly, okay? And you'll notice he's changed his posture now and his facial expressions. So you said you get these experiences, so there are these pictures and these limiting beliefs and stuff like that. How do they manifest themselves? What's the earliest recognition you get, Omar? Is it a feeling or is it something you say?
Probably something that pops up in your head, in my head.
Good. Okay, this is brilliant. Okay, work is already happening now.
Probably something that pops up in my head.
And what would that be, do you think?
Possibly if you've seen the guy, you're like, what could he be like? What's the fight going to be like? You can have a good fight, you can have a bad fight. This one could be the bad one. You could do this.
Yeah.
It sort of spirals into it.
Okay. So something pops in your head and it spirals into it. What's the first recognition you get then? Do you think it's a picture or is it a feeling? Do you experience any feelings in your body, in your head, shoulders, chest, tummy, legs?
I'd probably say it might be kind of a bit of the audio digital to speak to myself, backed up with a picture of what could maybe go wrong.
Yeah.
So feeling is generally around here.
What kind of feeling? How would you describe it?
Gut feeling, like
heavy.
A bit of a drop in, a bit of heavy.
Bit of a drop?
Yeah.
That kind of... Yeah. Okay, I get that. So what do you think happens first? Is it the internal dialogue? Is it the feeling? Or is it the pictures? Close your eyes if you have to. Go back to the last time it happened. And just find the first recognition that you get.
The feeling here, actually. It's kind of a tingling feeling.
Brilliant. Okay, so we think the feeling is there first. You'll notice you had rapid eye movement there as well. Okay, Omar, so what I want you to do is I want you to experience that now. And then I'm just going to move your limbs. I just want you to pop that on your head. And then just kick this leg out and hold that in the air for me. That's it, just in the air, if you can. Right, now what I want you to do, I want you to try your hardest to get that feeling back and notice what happens.
Feels in my leg.
Right, pop that leg down, put your other one up. Try and get the feeling back now and then tell me what happens.
Not quite the same.
Not quite the same, okay, just open your eyes. Brilliant, okay, so what we've done, we've just changed the physiological syntax of that experience. So by putting his hand on here and his leg out, he can't experience the same feeling. So unconsciously, what I'm saying to Omar is that he'll just learn now and he's popping into his conscious mind. By changing his physiology, he can change the way he thinks. So if we notice a feeling in his stomach, what we need to do is firstly change his posture. A really good thing for anxiety, if you just stand up, I can't remember if I've done this before, the passing hand, is if you pass, when we go back to bilateral stimulation between the brain, if you actually pass a pen or a ball like this, it activates both sides of the brain. Anxiety is only held in one side of the brain, and generally in the right hand side. By doing this exercise, what happens is it's activating both sides of the brain and passing it through the amygdala, through the thalamus, and processing it in a normal way. So nobody, if you were at a sporting event, nobody would see this as abnormal if you were chucking a ball between your hands. But if you get somebody who suffers with real anxiety, this is how to change it. Now what Omar's got as well is we've rewound this back to his feeling in his stomach. So what we're going to do is give him a strategy to change this. Okay, so I want you to imagine I'm with you and we're going into a fight. We've seen the guy, he's a big guy, he's all those things that make you nervous. Alright, so if we're just about to, when will this happen? How long before the fight does this experience happen in time wise?
For me, can be quite long before, because it's the anxiety of what could happen losing wise, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So probably 6 steady building.
So what we've got here, we've got an anchor, which is a kinesthetic anchor of where the losing is. Ooh! Flick it away, that's gone, you know, get rid of that. But we've shown us where he stores that. So I want you to get used to doing that. I've got one, when I get annoying people that have annoyed me, is I'll just grab the image of them and go, just imagine them like dissolving into little bits. So it's just like, so I want you to do that, just get used to going, or flicking it away. Do a noise with it as well, because the noise, we've got the physical and we've got the auditory as well. So there we go. So, okay, so what we've got is a strategy for getting rid of that. So let's have another strategy. How would you stand if you were nervous? If you're going into the, you know, we've rocked up, it's a couple of hours before, you've not even been padded. How would you kind of stand or sit before then? Right, okay. So we don't mind side to side because it's bilateral movement, it's affecting both sides of the brain. What can you do when you know, you look at somebody, you're really confident, you know it's going to be a hard fight, but when you're really confident, how do you stand?
Well, I'm confident.
Okay, so we know that now. So stand like that again. Brilliant. Okay, so what I'm doing, kinesthetically anchoring that, rewarding. So that's what you want to do. We don't want to use loads of energy, but when you do it, just change it and stand like that. You notice you stood taller, you look bigger and everything else. One of the things I coach with boxers as well is unconsciously, you pick up on your opponent's posture. When you go into the ring, you can see the difference in size with Omar. When he's nervous, his kind of shoulders are softer, but when he stands up, it looks bigger. So what I tend to people is just before you boxing, just spread your arms out wide because the reach is the most horrible thing in boxing. Do this, stand tall, and then just chill. Look relaxed, put your earphones on. So with Omar, we'd have a combination. As soon as he recognises it, I'll say, right, stand tall. That's it, just doing some mental breathing, some exercising, and then switch off. And then I'm going to sit him down like this. So just get yourself nice and relaxed, get his eyes closed, and just recharge the batteries. We're going to go on to that later. Does that make sense, though, about stopping that train before it starts? Now he recognises that feeling consciously, brain will interrupt it a second quicker, or whatever it is. They reckon that every feeling or experience that we have now happens in the brain between 6 and 10 seconds before we experience it. From the the fMRI scans are showing that decision making happens like that long before we make it, that things happen. Conscious decisions, this is not unconscious decisions. So with that in mind, he now has a strategy to change that. With the pen as well, this thing is I build that in for people with chronic anxiety. Sometimes you'll get sportsmen, and this is terrible for the sport, and really it's hard to work with these things. Sometimes you'll find sports people are doing it because of their parents, not because they want to do it. And often the parents will be living their lives, or the brothers or sisters or whatever, because of that. And then what happens is you get this incredible amount of anxiety because they're actually, you know, in any sport. So first thing I say is do it for yourself. You might love your mum, your dad, your sister, your brother. Do it for yourself first and them second, because you're in team sports, you know, you've got people around you, but in individual sports, you're on your own. And when the chips are down, if you're not doing it for yourself, you'll look for an easy way out. So do it for yourself first, and then your friends and family second. Any questions on that?